Hello, wrestling fans. Nate Maxon here with you. And as you tune into the latest edition of the show this week, you may notice as you're downloading it, there's a new logo, there's a new name for the show. We are no longer the 2300 pod. We are now Reliving The Extreme. A new branding for the show, but here's the thing. New name, same great content as we chronicle the history of ECW from the beginning to the end. This week, we finally have reached the apex of the beginning of ECW, the Super Summer Sizzler Spectacular that has been hyped for the past 3 months that we've been watching this show. Terry Funk and Eddie Gilbert, and much, much more. So let's get into it. I'm joined, of course, by Chad Austin and my brother Aaron. Here we go, Reliving the Extreme. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome as we are once again reliving the extreme. Nate Maxon here with you, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello.
And Mr. Chad Austin is here with us as well.
Hey, guys. Welcome aboard.
How is everybody doing out there after our little Thanksgiving siesta, taking a week off? But we had to, because we had to build ourselves up to what we're about to talk about today, what we all got to watch this week. Finally, after 3 months of this show, we're getting to the point. The Super Summer Sizzler Spectacular. I figure I'll say it once correctly, just for posterity. June 19th, 1993 is the date, and that is what we are going to be discussing this week on the show. But I would be remiss if I did not mention, as we come to air, as we record this on Wednesday evening, this morning everybody learned about the passing of the legendary Pat Patterson, and man, what a bummer. What a bummer.
I didn't know we were going there, but yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's a big one, man.
It is very big.
It's a bigger one than, I mean, I don't want to say that I'm way more into business than you guys are, or I'm way more anybody else. But yeah, just the fact that if you even know who Pat Patterson is,
mm-hmm.
you know, if you know who he is.
Go ahead, guys.
It's like I said, I posted on a couple things that I'm 37 years old. So my entire childhood was of childhood wrestling memories, WWF wise, I mean, he was the blueprint writer for it. You know what I mean? Like, Pat Patterson's hands are all over it.
And
yeah, I mean, I still talk to my fiance today. Like, when we talk and anything's funny, I just went, I want banana. She actually doesn't even know what it's from, but she just laughs at the fact that I don't say bananas. I just want banana.
Well, I've told my wife for 2 years that if we ever get another cat, I want to name it Cat Patterson.
Yeah,
she doesn't get it, but it's Pat Patterson, man.
Yeah,
like you said, and Chad, it's like you said, best Finnish guy there's ever been, and he was a phenomenal talent. And
one of my favorite things to watch from a behind the scenes thing is on the Wrestling with Shadows documentary, watching him book that finish, or book the finish for the
Canadian
Stampede match. Yeah, it's just fascinating to watch him do that and just watch his brain.
One of my funniest things is watching Pat Patterson book a finish, but not what he's saying. It's the way he's going, well, then you come over, then you go over, and then you come over here, and then we do this, and we do this.
and he's like, and then you hit that fucker.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Oh, my God. Place is going to go banana. It's electric. Oh, they're gonna love you. And then you're just like, what the fuck? You walk out of there, you're going, I don't know, at some point I'm supposed to go boom, boom, banana. Or, or something like that.
And that is that's going to be the name of this show.
Boom, boom, banana.
Boom, banana.
Yeah, Pat Patterson, man. I mean, literally, that's a big one. because I actually slept in today because I've been having problems sleeping, where I've been like waking up and then getting up in the morning and then drinking again and going back to bed. So I've been having problems sleeping. I've been having problems drinking. So I've been waking up, but then I woke up this morning after I slept like a whole entire night, and then I woke up. I put on Busted Open this morning, God, and then I heard I plugged my phone in and I just saw R.I.P. Pat Patterson from like 2 people today, and I was like, oh Jesus! And literally my throat was like, oh my God, like
it was one of those. It was one of those things where it's like, Jesus Christ, I hope it's like a hoax, you know, like when they say this person died and he didn't
Can I get a Snopes fact check here or something?
Yeah.
Well, I would never, you know, I wouldn't say I thought it was a hoax.
I didn't think. I was hoping it was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, not even that, because I mean, I knew the guy was approaching 80, and I knew that his health was in question, but I didn't hear anything that gave me the impression, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I never heard that. That's what alarmed me. Like, if I would have heard, like, oh my God, Pat Patterson's in the hospital, you know, in this trying time right now with the COVID and all the other shit, you don't even know, you know? I never heard anything. But as far as I knew, besides the heart problem that Pat had in the 2004, 2006 or whatever, I never heard of him being in any health issues.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I mean, I think it was maybe the What Culture article today mentioned something about how he had been battling cancer, and I didn't even know that. I had no idea.
I never heard that either.
No,
I still never heard that. What kind of cancer? It ain't from smoking. Don't give me. Oh, not a cigarette. Oh, why don't you smoke?
So one of the biggest regrets here for me is I never got to meet him in person. Never got to meet him, but. Unfortunately, didn't mean to get us off on a bad note here, but I just wanted to, you know, not necessarily a bad note, just reminisce on the greatness that was Mr. Pat Patterson. And
no, you're never ever going to talk about getting off on a bad note and then speak about Pat Patterson in that same light. Because nothing about Pat Patterson, I mean, I've never actually one-on-one met the guy, but I have been in rooms with him where I just was like, I just want to go meet him. But, you know, have I done enough to go meet that Patterson? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, can I go do it? And I never did, but I've been in rooms with Pat Patterson, and I'm just like, my God, this guy is like, you know, everybody holds Vince as being a genius and this and that. Well, Vince wouldn't be the genius that he was without Pat Patterson.
Without Pat Patterson by his side.
And that's what I meant, like, about the whole childhood memories thing. I mean, that was Pat Patterson. He's the guy.
Every time I hear somebody say that he's the best finish guy ever, I just think of I can think of a million, not a million because I haven't done a million matches, but you know what I mean? A bunch of times where I've wrestled matches and somebody came to me with their idea what they wanted to do, and I would just go like, well, what would Pat Patterson do?
Right.
Like for a finish. If I was going to protect myself, you know, like, you know, I'm coming back here next month, you know, or whatever. Like, why would I do that when I can just do this and get out of here when you can get over?
Exactly. Yep, that is, like I said, a sad day, but I guess we'll, unless you guys have anything else, we'll get to the point, the meat of the matter here, get into the Super Summer Sizzler Spectacular. The ECW arena, we begin our journey with Jay Sully, our old friend, and Todd Gordon outside the ECW arena with some fans. Do you know anybody in this shot, Chad? Any of these guys that were outside with them?
Well, even if I did, I wouldn't even I wouldn't acknowledge. I mean, would you guys?
What was with? Did you guys see the guy in the blue shorty shorts?
I saw all of them.
Yeah, and it, like, I was like, is that a red fanny pack or a cod piece? Like, that was the most awkward looking fanny pack I'd ever seen in my life.
I thought
he looked like the guy from the Word Up video. Like,
Jesus. I honestly thought that the show started out fantastic with a very good disclaimer. about how this show was going to be violent.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a disclaimer you normally see on a WWE program, you know?
Right.
It's not.
It's like put the kids away. Like,
yeah,
oh
it was like
God, it's gonna be fucking nuts.
Tell the wife to shut the fuck up, you know? Dinner should be ready soon. We're going to watch guys bleed, so fucking shut up.
Settle in, fucker.
Like, damn. This looks like it's going to be a mighty, mighty impressive show, right?
You're gonna go banana.
Dude, I'll say that to I'll never stop saying that it was banana. Never. that to me was my Pat Patterson for the rest of my life. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get into this show. There was a nice that nice disclaimer about the violence and all that stuff. I thought I was like, wow. And then when they went right into the show open, did you notice the song change?
Yeah.
What was different about it? Because I might have to go back on my original tape and see what was the song change. Because I thought it was still the same.
I did too, and I don't know if this was. Maybe this show was a VHS. That's all I can think of, because I'm assuming this wasn't on TV. I'm assuming that this show went to a VHS, so maybe it had different music than the TV show.
I mean, I have it. I just haven't watched it in I don't know how many years, but yeah, I don't remember it being anything like that at all, because I think we still got 5, 6 more, maybe 3 or 4 more months before we started hearing more original music. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. That's why I was like, wow, they're doing that already? Like, they're already changing the music? And the music is sad. It's sad.
And then
Todd Gordon said something, and I could be totally off base with this, but I understand there's indie professional wrestling and independent professional wrestling. But, like, if you're an indie show, you shouldn't call yourself an indie show. You know what I mean? But Gordon, before they send it to the show, goes, "This is going to be the hottest show in independent history."
Well, I don't know. I got tapes that are sitting upstairs right now that nobody's watching. I can go, well, I don't know. I got some decent, pretty independent shows.
What? I know, but I'm just saying, like, why call yourself independent? You know, I don't know.
Well, I think the reason why, this is just my opinion. I have no idea why. I think the reason why they said that was because they wanted everybody to understand that that the ECW allows everybody to come in because they're not like a contracted company. Mm-hmm. So independent in that time frame, to me, hell, it was a bigger umbrella thing. And hey, anybody can come here. So we're not going to like say, no, you can't come here because you work there. That's just me looking at it that way.
And maybe also just a little bit, because at this time, I think if you think about it, at this time, that was still a fairly new term, because the territories at this time were now when was the official death of the territories? But I guess what I'm saying is you've gone from territories to you have 2 big companies and then everybody else is an independent. So that word was still fresh in the nomenclature, I guess. I don't know. I'm waxing poetic here, and it doesn't.
Well, what is it? You said this is 93. 93. So this is coming off the heels of what was the last grasp of Vern of trying to claim that he was a major, like 88, 89.
Yeah,
where
89.
When Lawler was trying to say this is an open company, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Anybody can come here. I think Todd was just trying to, make independence sound bigger than it was. I don't know. But yeah, that's probably what it was in my opinion.
Might have been me overthinking it.
And we roll into our opening contest. Superfly Jimmy Snuka, JT Smith for the TV title, with Paulie and Sully on commentary. And Sully won't stop going on about the boots.
And talking about the music and the whatever, WWE was laying it on thick when they were like adding the music on here and the crowd noise. Like they made it sound like Jimmy Snuka was coming out in like a building that had like 10,000 people.
Dude, Aaron, you're killing me because I wrote like I looked and I was like, it was a good crowd, and I went, I can't believe how over JT Smith was. And then I looked around and I realized nobody was cheering for him. And then I just said, like, I was there. I was in the building. And then I was like, there's nobody cheering for him. Like, they're cheering for him like it's John Cena. like WrestleMania or something.
Yeah, they piped way too much crowd noise into this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And it wouldn't have bothered me because I would have thought that, yeah, I was there and the crowd was enthusiastic, but there, whoever booked this show didn't have the equipment to mic it that good to where it sounds like Roman Reigns won.
I was going to say it sounded like the damn Thunderdome thing.
Don't get me started on that, dude.
And first sign of the night in like a computer print from like the 90s, Sully must go.
I missed that one. I wrote down some signs, but I missed.
I got some signs, but the first sign is Sully must go.
We're in agreement, guy. The sign.
I never realized it, but the guys that I was with, I looked, and you really can't see me. I'm not sure if you can see me and my friends. It was only 4 of us, but we're like only a couple of people in front of them signs. So this is the first time I'm seeing the signs. I never really saw the signs. And then I saw somebody must go, and I was like, yeah, that's right.
The match, I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot to say about the match. I mean, Snuka worked a knee. I know that.
A lot.
And, yeah.
This is what I'll say. Like, they had Snuka booked to do 2 TV title defenses in this show. But what I don't think they ever said was that, like, say JT beats Snuka, then he'll fight Cairo. You know what I mean? So the 2 title defenses in one night kind of foreshadowed the ending of this match. So that's why I think it was just kind of like, Jimmy Snuka's going to win because they've already hyped him to defend the TV title twice.
What I wondered was, did they have 2 Snuka matches? Because if you notice, even though he's the ECW champion right now, Morocco wasn't on the show. So I wonder if that, do you know what I mean? Maybe that was the reasoning for those 2.
Maybe, but you get what I'm saying with the foreshadowing thing?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You didn't make it sound like JT had a chance to be champ.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, actually, if I was going to book this crap, I would have booked Cairo and Snuka first, and Smith and Snuka second, because Smith and Snuka was way better of a match than the Cairo match, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say Snuka worked for either one of the guys because he really didn't. But I mean, if I had to go who he worked for, he definitely worked for Smith way more than he worked for Cairo. And yeah, I would have booked that a little different. Yeah, and I literally was completely blown away. I just wrote like, what was the deal with the crowd sweetener? Because Because Aaron, I'm still blown away how it's going. I can't believe how over Snuka and Jay Smith were.
I'm saying, they way overdid it. Way overdid it.
You ain't kidding, they did. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything wrong, and yet at the same time, they didn't get the crowd to shit on them. So, therefore, in Philadelphia, that to me is a plus.
Definitely.
Yeah, WWE way overdid it with the screener.
Well, Snuka goes over in this one. Go ahead, Aaron. You were going to say something.
I was just going to say that the same thing you said. Snuka wins with a Superfly splash. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just what it was.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't bad. They didn't do anything. Nothing was embarrassing. They didn't super kick any fucking kids.
And next we roll into the hotly anticipated first blood match between Tony Stetson and why the fuck did I just Larry Winters?
Larry Winters.
I blanked on his first name.
Larry Winters, the fruit of the loom.
But Tony Stetson, I thought looked good here.
He did. I've said it before. Tony Stetson, when they had their matches with like the Super D's and the Suicide Blondes, like Tony Stetson held up with Chris Candido. So
I had an idea. Like I'm not one of these kind of guys. I'm not like I'll sit back and I'll rebook stuff because there's no way you can redo it.
Right.
It's already done. But if I was there and I would have done it, like I would have cut some promos for Stetson and Hot Body because the whole entire deal was they were like a tag team for a long time. They were like brothers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron, Nate, you tell me, what was the catalyst for them to have a first blood match? Was there any precedent set?
No.
I didn't know either.
And that was even one of the notes I put. When the match first started, until they started, working their roles or whatever, I forgot for a minute who turned. Like, who was the heel for a minute? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I forgot just for a hot minute, like, who was the guy that turned for a minute?
That's what I meant. That's why I would have had, like, we went like 2 or 3 weeks with a whole bunch of bad promos. Not of them two guys specifically, but, just bad, generic. I mean, bad as in just generic promos. And why wouldn't Stetson have said, like, when we were a team, we've been a team forever. I sweat with you. I bled with you. And now that, they ain't together, I'm going to make you feel like it felt for me, when I was doing it for us.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, give me something.
Yes, exactly. Give me something.
It's like why isn't Tony Stetson and Larry Winters on AEW tonight in a first blood match? That seems to be what Tony Khan just does. And I'll just book whatever the fuck anybody wants to watch.
Yeah. One of my first notes is that this is a waste of that gimmick.
I agree. It wasn't done properly, but then again, I also say that it wasn't done wrong either. It wasn't done wrong because there wasn't a whole lot to go by,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the guys. I'm not knocking their match. I'm just saying the way it was presented was just, it was blasé.
Yeah, why? What was the first blood aspect? And then, I thought they did great because. And honestly, in my opinion, both guys were probably limited as what they could do. So a nice little shitty brawl, which a shitty brawl is a good brawl, by the way.
Yeah.
They can just go out there and just do a little shitty brawl. And then all of a sudden Rock and Rebel shows up out of nowhere. And then, it gets the gimmick and the referee don't see it. All right, that's fine. You did 6-7 minutes, I guess, right?
Well, and I actually have wrote down here the match isn't bad. I mean, it's not on my. It's not going to make my list of top 500 matches ever, but it's not bad. I mean, it's watchable. And the signs that I noticed, the loser, there was just a loser, and then kill him was a sign that I saw during this one. These guys must have brought a bunch of signs with them. That's fun. I love it.
And I can't believe that I was sitting in front of them. I don't remember them. I don't, because I don't remember them signs because I'm like 4 or 5 rows probably in front of them somewhere.
The Winter's blade job was pretty obvious. I mean,
he laid there for a minute, was just
fucking
with it.
Obvious.
It was pretty bad.
But like I said, overall, Rebel. One more thing. We have no explanation for why he's involved in this. There's been no, I didn't see any heat hinted between him and Larry Winters at any point. So, I don't know. But anyway, overall, not offensive, just kind of there. The first blood,
you're right.
Like you guys said. I mean, it didn't need to be. Well, they gave us no reason for it to be this extreme of an outcome, but
apparently,
I never saw the blade job. Like that Larry Winters did. Like, how much blood was it?
It was because he has this big moppy fucking.
Well, why wouldn't you use that as a selling point? Like, oh my God, would you look at this? These two guys went to this extreme, you know, unless it was just a shit job, you know, a shit blade job, you know, which it probably, in my opinion, it probably was.
Probably.
And apparently Larry Winters is like Hulk Hogan-esque with his strength too, because he powders out both of them at the end of the match. Like he runs them both off.
And there was no blood still.
Winters,
like I was still looking for the blood when he made the babyface comeback and he blew the comeback.
It was getting all observed up to his perm.
Winters Mania running wild, brother.
Yeah. The perm absorbed all the blood.
Well, that was a shame because that was a waste of a perfectly good first blood match. But
absolutely,
believe me, there was enough blood for the rest of them.
Talking about awful. Up next is our cat fight.
Cat fight humiliation match.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
you got to add the humiliation.
Glad you clarified. Appreciate that.
You get a sign,
or the people that are involved in it.
Well, there's the sign. There's a sign a couple rows behind you, Chad, that says, "We want skin."
But none of this skin.
None of this skin, though.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of jokes right there that I'm not even going to write. But if you're in South Philadelphia and you're watching Miss Peaches and Tigra, and they're going to take their clothes off, and you want skin, then it goes to tell you what kind of crew the strip clubs in South Philadelphia have on a Friday and Saturday night. that ain't good.
Freddie Gilbert Lawler's, he's the ref.
Yeah, Freddie Gilbert. See, I actually wrote that here for a reason, because Freddie Gilbert, you know who Freddie Gilbert? We already discussed it. It's Lawler's kid, and it's Gilbert's like office kid, like right hand man. He was there to keep the match together. And what did he do? Not keep the match together
in any way, shape, or form. No,
these two motherfuckers. Tiger, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Nate, you tell me, because there was more outside of the ring going on than there was inside.
They essentially just ran around. Like that's pretty much what they did. They just ran around for three and a half minutes, and then
they added some other hooker in there.
Yeah, and she's the one that lost her actual clothes.
Yeah. Well, she was the only one with tits.
Well, you know, this is what I was like, man, look, they're just throwing them out there. They have no idea what they're doing. They just got to get through this, because at this point, Angel was the girl's name.
She was the one with the tits.
Yeah, Angel was the girl that came out there, and as we go on, I'm not even sure I want to tell the story, but good God, But yeah, Angel was out there for that reason whatsoever, because they knew they weren't going to deliver on the stipulation that they were going to get the clothes down. But Angel was a topless lady, entertainer at a strip club that I believe, don't hold me to this, that I believe Tigress also worked at. Like she must have knew her or something, you know? Yeah. I mean, like they must have ran it by her, and she was like, "Well, I ain't doing it." And then Angel was like, "Well, I'll do it," you know, kind of thing. And she probably got paid more than, I don't know. I'm looking at the roster going, well, she probably got paid more than a lot of us.
Angel worked the night shift. Tiger worked lunchtime.
Well, yeah. Well, Monday.
Yeah, Monday lunchtime, the buffet day.
Yeah. The shrimp scampi's out, and so's Tigra.
Shrimp scampi and old pizza. Here you go.
Yeah, I didn't like that was the Angel angle, and I wrote bad, and then I wrote wow. Like, you know, that was their whole entire, that was their shock value for the night. Because, you know, did you guys see any women in the crowd?
Nope.
I didn't see them either. So when you got, I mean, believe me, this was a good crowd. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many shows have we done that we've actually said, like, wow, what a crowd?
None.
Like that was a show when they started putting actually and legitimately close to the capacity of that building.
You can't have titties at Cabrina. Cabrini.
Well, I mean, Jesus.
They have a no tatas policy.
Yeah.
I do have one note here that the only thing that I found entertaining about this match is Paulie busting Sully's balls the whole time. That was the only entertaining thing about this thing.
It's kind of the precursor to No More Sully.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of. That is that you just know that it's coming. You just know that it's coming because Paulie is he's just telling you, I got no use for this guy.
And my guy will be on later on in the show too, by the way.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just gonna kill him. Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for Tiger or whatever her name is. I felt bad for that girl because she didn't know what was going on. And Angel, in my opinion, was just a victim of just the business because they had a stipulation to meet. And they had an angle they had to fucking pay off for, and we all knew Peaches wasn't going to do it, So there was Angel, and like literally, how great is it when somebody gets their bra stripped off, whatever, and they throw their hands down to their side before they grab their bosoms, They just been like, what? I can't believe this. I can't look at me before they grab them. So, of
course, Peaches isn't going to do it. Her husband has bigger tits than she does.
He had no idea. Believe me.
Next, we have
go. Hey, let's not forget that the Rebel Stetson tag team was featured more in here. They're the ones that ripped Angel's memories out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Rebel.
Oh, yeah.
Involved.
Yeah, but they did it as an accident. Like they were all trying to like do-si-do with her. I thought they were dancing with her. The one guy spun her around and she fell right.
It was a literal hoedown.
It was like perverse vaudeville. It was like a perverse vaudeville kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you wait till we get more into the Angel story. Good. I'm not even. Yeah.
Snuka and Cairo in the second world TV title match. The second TV title match is next. We got Terry Funk on commentary, putting Tommy over pretty hard.
Yeah, did you notice the crowd looked like it was getting bigger during that by any chance?
Yeah, it did.
Like that was my only note. I wrote Snuka again versus Cairo, and then I was like, God damn! It looks like I see people filing in, like just.
Maybe it was intermission and people were hitting the payphone and being like, "Hey, they got titties out at the ECW arena." People started showing up.
My guess is it probably was a 7 o'clock thing, and people didn't start showing up till 9 o'clock or so. That's the way it is. I don't know, but I just noticed that it looked like the building was getting bigger, and I was like, "Good God," That was nowhere near as good as the JT Smith match. And then I think that Snuka was just like, I don't know how much more time I got to do with this, to get through this. Just let me get out of this so I can go to fucking home.
That's one of my notes is that Snuka and ECW, out of all these shows we've watched, is like the biggest letdown of it. The guy's so fucking lazy in ECW. He's so lazy.
Well, yeah, because Morocco was so fucking lazy, he didn't even show up.
but
he talks Snuka into showing up and doing even less, or almost as less as not showing up.
Like even at the end of it, when Paulie trips Cairo and he does puts the feet on the ropes and everything, it's just so fucking lazy.
I wrote lame.
Yeah.
That was a lame finish, right? But right before they did that, did any of you two guys notice that they may have been John Aresi sitting at ringside?
Was it? I didn't see him.
Oh, I hope it was. Like John Aresi was sitting how where Murderer's Row is out on across from the hard cam, right?
Yeah.
Right to the left of that. when they were out on the floor, there was a big fat Italian guy with black hair and glasses, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's John Arezzi!"
It probably was. Arezzi talks about being at all them shows and shit.
Well, shouts to John Arezzi for being at the ECW arena, but he don't even want to tag himself in this nonsense.
And the other thing with this that I didn't understand, and like I said, I might be overthinking it too. I think it was kind of dumb to have Terry Funk on commentary. Not that Terry Funk doesn't do a good job in commentary, but why have your main event guy like commentating for this?
I'll tell you why, because they didn't have confidence in Jay Sully to do it by himself. And this was all done in post-production. So, I mean, let's be honest, Terry Funk still had a half an hour. That's what he said, that he can go in and think about what I'm going to do.
I would have just put Joey in there one more time. I mean, Joey did a fantastic. That's coming up. I'm just
wait a minute. Yes, exactly. Is that what I think you're leading to, Aaron?
Yeah.
Because I had to actually, I can't believe I'm stuttering, because I had to rewind it to go back again and go, wait a second. And then Jess has no idea. She doesn't really, she's as as in the wrestling as Cornette's wife is. She knows wrestling, but she doesn't really know everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I was like, wait a minute. She's like, yeah, that's the oh my God guy.
Yeah, he's coming up in a couple matches. I would have just used, honestly, he's coming up in the two or three matches away from now. I would have used him the whole night. If this was a post-production commentary thing, if I would have heard him for that, I would have said, guys, let's redo this whole thing. We'll just Joey the whole night. He did.
Well, that was obviously the stepping stone. I mean, right, Aaron? Because it was Sully, Paulie, Sully Funk, and then Sully, Joey Styles.
Yep.
So obviously that was in post production, where it was probably done on separate days, where Paulie says, "Hey, we got this other guy." I mean, that's all I can think about it. But yeah, but that looks like it's a perfect introduction to Joey Styles for there.
Sully doesn't see that the hammer's about to drop.
He's
blind.
He's too drunk.
He's too drunk. All right. So now we got the Sandman, Johnny Hotbody.
Which Stuka won that match, by the way.
Yes.
Had that.
We got, surprise. Because it was a street fight, this is thankfully the first time we've seen Sandman not in that god-awful wetsuit.
I was saying it's our first glimpse of the future Sandman.
Yes. And Terry Funk, no karate, no judo. It's a street fight.
And when Sandman comes out, somebody holds up a sign that says keg gut.
Keg gut. Yeah.
Sandman has keg gut.
Well, honestly, I got to tell you, this is when wasn't it you, Nate, that I texted that I was going to dinner?
Yeah.
This is the match where I stopped it at, because I literally was watching it for like an hour and a half and went, I've had enough. And I said, my wife's coming home and we're going to go to dinner. And when I get back, there can't be a whole lot more to watch. So I can make her sit through this, right?
Right.
And then when I got back, I was like, oh my God, I forgot I stopped it on Sandman and Rebel. And then I was like, wow, the crowd didn't really give a shit about either one of them, in my opinion. I heard a lot of boos.
No, yeah, I did. That's what I actually wrote down here. The people aren't into this thing; they're booing it. There was a couple of bad shots. They aren't booing it because there's anybody that has real heel heat or anything. They're just booing it.
It looked phony.
Yeah, the Stetson Winters match was more convincing than this match.
Oh, 100%, man. 100% I agree. Because, the punches, they looked like they were, making contact. Mm-hmm. As limited as Winters is, he still knew how to sell that shit.
Yeah.
And Rebel and Sandman, they knew better. I don't know what their deal was that night, but I don't know. But I mean, it just wasn't good, and they just didn't mesh well that night.
Mm-hmm. What was the deal with the apple? I didn't understand. What was the deal with the apple? Why did Hot Body take a bite of an apple in the? I didn't understand that at all. Like, it never got to a point. Like, there was never.
Oh, I never even saw that. I must have fucking just zoned out at that point.
There was literally an apple in the corner, and he went over and took a bite out of the apple.
Rebel?
Oh,
he bit the apple?
Mm-hmm.
You said when Rebel bit the apple?
Yeah.
Yeah, that made no fucking sense.
Maybe that's an Easter egg that somebody's going to have to figure out. Why was there that was an Easter egg? Because if they never followed up on it, then why did they do it?
Yeah, what was with the
other thing is too, though, they bring up the apple later. No lie, they bring up the apple in another match.
I think I missed that.
Oh, I'll tell you about it.
Well,
at some point, I was listening to the new AC/DC album, like not too long after this. So, yeah, so you're right, Aaron. He could have said something about the apple, and it just went over my head because once I heard Joey Styles, I was like,
I'm just saying they bring it up again.
Well, you love the apple.
Let's see, we get a ref bump. Tony Stetson's out. I don't understand why we got a ref bump. It's a street fight.
It's a very shitty ref bump too.
Yeah, it is
terrible.
Right.
Who's the referee?
What was that guy's name? They said his name.
Was it Finnegan, Molyneux, or Gilbert?
I think it was Molyneux.
Okay, so that was probably a legitimate ref bump then, because they never really used them two as like lame ducks, for finish. So what was the finish? What happened?
Well, they bring out some other hooker.
Yeah,
who was the woman? And I thought I was still talking about the angel spot.
I was watching. I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm kind of speechless because the end of this is such a clusterfuck that.
They bring out some other hooker, and she's not like bad from the back. I don't know what she looks like from the front because you don't see her. But she sprays Sandman with something, and then Rebel smacks the fuck out of him with his weight belt and rolls him up and pins him.
It was stupid.
I can't even believe. I don't even remember who the hell this was. What?
I never saw her face, so I don't know.
No, I never saw her. Because all I got was the crowd booed, and I wrote, "Who is the woman?" But I have no notes as regarding to like who I thought she would have been or what she would have done. Like,
no idea.
Who was she later on? Was that ever revealed?
I don't think so.
Good God! Now I gotta go back and watch it. Because I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't remember. That's pretty fucked up. Considering I watched it an hour and a half ago.
Well, like I said, the whole thing, this whole finish is just so convoluted, and it's like there's parts of a story that it's like we're in the third part of a 5-part story that they never told us part 1 or 2 of.
Yeah, but we all know how it ends at the end because who stays, who goes, So yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, now I want to know who this fucking broad was because I'm trying to think like being there. I can't think of any. I don't know because it wasn't like the women were running around in the locker room and you knew who everybody was. I don't know, but I just can't think of who this mysterious woman was in that time frame. We've already discussed Peaches, Tigra, Angel.
This was just some blonde with a nice 93 ass and some 93 shorty shorts. It's the only thing I know about her.
Well, I must have been taking a sip of my beer or something. I don't even remember this whatsoever. But I know what I was happy to see though.
So here we go, guys. Are you ready? I went to Wikipedia.
What I was happy to see?
I went to Wikipedia real quick.
I know who this broad was.
To see who I could solve, if I could solve our mystery. Now, this is the line according to Wikipedia. Rock and Rebel faced the Sandman in a Philadelphia street fight, with Rock and Rebel pinning the Sandman using a schoolboy after an unnamed Tammy Lynn Sitch entered the ring and momentarily blinded the Sandman with hairspray.
No chance.
Really, Tammy?
No chance.
That's Wikipedia.
She looked. I'm going to say this girl looked a little too thick to be Tammy in '93.
No chance. No chance that was Tammy. No, I mean, it's 100%.
Now, if you would tell me that was Tammy in 2005, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Now, see,
I don't think that was '93 Tammy.
If she was doing it whenever them web pages are where you can get money to watch her do stuff, whatever it is, yeah, that's Tammy. But no, that girl was not Tammy Sitch. No way, not nowhere near. '93, that was probably borderline illegal anyway. Yeah, so, she wasn't old enough.
I've got to. I'll try to do some more research and dig into this a little more.
I still want to know that was John Arezzi at ringside.
I'll watch again and tell you if I think it's John Arezzi.
Yeah, but now the highlight of the show for me, guys, come on. You know what it is.
Dick Murdoch?
Of course it is.
Here's me. I wrote here, and all of this is fun because Dick Murdoch's in it, and Terry Funk is busting Dick Murdoch's balls on commentary the whole time. It's amazing. He's
calling him Richard. He's calling him Hoyt. He just, yeah.
Richard the Rube. Richard the Rube.
It's so much fun.
Of course. But as soon as I saw him, didn't I tell it? Was that you, Nate, or Aaron? I can't remember which one I was telling that. I wasn't sure that I thought Dick Murdoch actually showed up.
Yeah, we discussed that a couple of weeks ago when they first started advertising him for the show.
I didn't think he showed up.
There was a smear the queer sign in the audience during this match.
Yeah, that's one of my notes. Is I'm surprised that WWE didn't blur that out. All the things they blur out.
Give that thing the real world champion treatment.
Yeah,
yeah. So you think Aaron says he thinks he knows who Dark Patriot number 2 is?
I really do, and I might be completely off. And I Googled because I wanted to make sure the guy was in the business before I said this. I think Dark Patriot number 2 was Bill DeMott.
No.
I think in '93 he was probably about that size. The way he worked, and I'm a Bill DeMott fan, and just watching him do his chops and then standing off and looking at the crowd and shit, he was doing Bill DeMott-esque motions. I think it was Bill DeMott.
I tried to research it. Actually, I tried to look the internet, and whenever you put Dark Patriot number 2 in, it just keeps coming.
Doug Gilbert.
Yeah, it just gives you Doug Gilbert, and there's no hyperlink for it on Wikipedia either, where you can click it. So your guess is as good as mine. It's actually better than mine because I didn't have a guess.
No, I don't think that was Yeah, I don't think that was Bill DeMott, because it wasn't until, and this is why I think I might even have concrete proof, that it wasn't until October near Ultra Class that Paul reached the agreement with Victor Quinones for Wing. And that's when Bill came in. Bill was a New Jersey guy, and me and Bill were friends. I don't know where we stand now. I haven't seen him in decades, but yeah, I don't think the timeline would have mattered. It matched up then, if you know what I mean.
That's why I said I'm probably wrong, but I just the guy reminded me of Bill.
I just think it was somebody that he could have a good match with.
Yeah,
it could have been a buddy of his.
And
it didn't have to be anybody, because clearly it wasn't Doug Gilbert.
Right.
And for all we know, it could have been Tony Stetson, but the guy was actually pretty halfway decent.
Yeah, the match wasn't bad, and like I said, everything about this was entertaining. I enjoyed it. Even when Terry leaves, he goes, "Yowza!"
Yeah, he goes, at the end of this match, for one, like I put in my notes that Terry Funk is super into dick, just because I thought that was funny. But Murdoch hits a pretty good drop kick for a guy his size in the match, and after Murdoch wins, Sully says, "Hey, I know you got to go get ready for your match," and he goes, "Wowza, wowza, wowza." That's what Terry Funk says. Wowza, wowza, wowza.
But Dick Murdoch, if I had the money, I don't know, if I had somewhere near Tony Khan's money and I was going to book a company, I would pay Dick Murdoch. I would call him and say, "What do you want?" You know, and I'm sure he would give me some bullshit number. And I would go, "Okay, just come and hang out." You know what I mean? Maybe we'll use you. Maybe we won't use you. But, you know, just come and hang out with the boys in the locker room and shit.
And you got your Coors Deer, like, membership, so he gets free beer and shit. It would have been fun to have him around.
I'm sure I'm sure that deal got dried up a long time ago. But I'm sure Dick Murdoch wasn't paying for beer later on in his life. But, yeah, I know what you mean. But you know what I'm saying? Dick Murdoch is always somebody. Why wouldn't you want to have him around?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, we were speaking about Pat Patterson earlier, and nobody's ever had a bad thing to say about Pat Patterson. What's the worst you've heard about Dick Murdoch? He stiffed people on tabs because it was his rib, you know, but what was the worst rib, you know what I mean? He never really did anything bad to anybody. He just, you know, sure, him and Dusty had donkeys in their room or whatever the fuck the story is that they had. But it wasn't, he never killed people, you know?
Right.
Well,
this was like our TV champion.
Sure.
So up next is quite the debacle. This 6-man insanity that we're going to see. And here, just when we thought we were done with Stevie Wonderful, now they put the son of a bitch in the ring. It's Stevie Wonderful teaming with Sal Balomo and one of the Super Destroyers against
the Hollywood Blonde, or the Hollywood Blondes, two of the Suicide Blondes, and
Halitosis Robbins the third.
HQR2. I put in my notes that I've heard that when you're going to have to do a replacement on your car that's already advertised, you want your replacement to be better than the person that you replaced him with. But ECW decided to make it wonderful.
Of course.
This was not good. I don't have anything. I have hardly no notes about this other than I have one note that I have is two notes. I'm glad that Joey Styles is here, and Joey Styles used the Rodney Dangerfield bowl of soup joke. And when he talks to Sully about his suit, he's like, "Did you get a free bowl of soup with that suit?"
Yeah.
But Joey's
kind of. I didn't. Actually, I just wrote Wildman Sal and the Super D's versus, and I wrote. It looks like I started writing the. And then it looks like I just scribbled the rest of it. And then I wrote like Hunter Q below it for I have no idea why. And then the next thing I had was Joey Styles.
Yes.
Was Joey Styles in this match?
Playing the heel on commentary, by the way.
Yeah, Joey's full heel. And I also don't remember. They said Joey Styles worked for PWI.
For Pro
I don't remember Joey Styles ever being a name that I ever saw as like a contributor to PWI.
No, I mean maybe as a freelance, he could have pitched stories because they had them sub. I don't know what they're called, like contents in their magazines, or they did have correspondence. You know.
Yeah.
Isn't it how Jim Cornette got in with Kaiser and all that shit?
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe, I mean, even Taz was in one. I love making fun of Taz, by the way. Who did I text last week when Taz was on TV? and I said I'm texting Jonesy about Taz.
No, that was me. Yeah.
I just texted him. I said, I always smile when Taz is on TV because I know that motherfucker don't want to be doing that. Like, he doesn't want to be on TV. And it's just hilarious that he's like, I'm telling you, he's going, fuck, mother, fuck. But either way, like, Joey Styles, do you really think they were bringing Joey Styles in to be a heel commentator? Because I'm not even sure I felt that.
I felt like he was healing it up. Yeah, I felt like he was healing it up in this match. Now I don't know if that was their intent or again, like I said, we're slowly we're letting Sully down softly or something.
Big Sal hits his drop kick in this match, and Joey's like, the only reason he fell over was because he smelt the disgusting feet of
I never heard that. Oh my goodness!
He said it smelled like old sausage and Parmesan or something like that. Yeah, he was knocking Sal. There's also a sign in this match that they held up, and it says, "The Kitty's Pal, Wild Man Sal."
Well, what's all that? I mean, what, do you got a problem with kitties?
He loves the kids. No,
he loves the kids.
Oh, the kitties.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kitty's pal, a Wild Man Sal. Is what
he loves the kids.
Well, dude, seriously. I mean, coming to the ECW arena, you're not going to get a whole bunch of kids coming to the show. So maybe Sal's audience is going back to work for, oh my God, I can't think of his name. Dennis Carluzzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back for Caluso and working at the armories where you're Salvalomo, and every Friday and Saturday night at the VFWs, the kids come out. Maybe that's what he should have been doing, then. But I still think that Paul, Eddie, somebody, Todd, maybe. So, I mean, I thought there was something there with Sal. Didn't you guys at all?
Yeah, I like the wacky. I don't know. It's just it sticks out.
This match, honestly, in my opinion, was like, looking at it, it's like the culmination, like the ending of the beginning of the Cabrini College shit. You know what I mean? Like this is
putting a bow on Cabrini. Yeah,
this is the Cabrini College guys like WrestleMania 5. Like, we're gonna finish this out. With this
no way! You cannot say that, man. Where was the Wolfman? Or Max Thrasher?
They were waiting to take down the ring.
It wasn't their ring. I think it was their ring.
They were still waiting to do it.
That's great, because this was the show where these guys weren't on the show. And this is where I thought, like, this is a whole, I wasn't backstage yet. I didn't really have any privy to any information or anything. But I think this is where the whole entire Paulie thought that there's something more here than Eddie can probably, produce. This is the show that I think that it was. Because Paul thought, like, man, because go back to what Paul thought about the Goodhart shows.
Mm-hmm.
Them shows drew like 1,200 people. In a 3,000, 3,500 seat convention center or whatever, they drew like 1,200 people.
Right.
Philadelphia is a strong, strong market, and that was a decent show considering the building. There was nobody going to tell you how many people you could put in that building. There wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. These are like the Cabrini guys, and I think they all looked at each other and they were like, "Guys, it's never going to get it any bigger than this."
This is our epitome.
We've been working in front of hundreds, and now we're in front of thousands. Let's go out there and show them why we earned this.
Well, that's why the guys that worked that show never worked again. Because that was their WrestleMania.
So I'm saying this was these guys' WrestleMania.
Yeah, Larry Williams going, well, you got blood on me in the biggest show of my life. I'm going to hurt my wife and kids.
Stevie Wonderful was like, must have been what it felt like when DDP drove the pink Cadillac at WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. This is like, it's not getting any, hey, man. It's not getting any bigger than this.
Like, Stevie Wonderful's probably still telling people about this match.
And then I chased Hunter Q Robbins around the ring.
And this dude just like, and whoever he's selling it to, he's just like, just give him my Slurpee and my change, man.
Yeah, it was a weird time, and like we said, and as we'll see as this show goes on, there's so many more guys that you're not going to see that were there, and a lot of them guys I thought could have had spots. Mm-hmm. I really thought Tommy Cairo could have had a spot. We all know about Sandman. Rebel is a whole entire different fucking show. Stetson, I don't have a bad thing to say about Stetson. I don't know why he didn't. I loved his role that he had, but whatever, it was what it was. It was right there as mine. Yeah, a lot of them guys, they just didn't grasp what the future was, I guess,
Right. And there was like a minute where Stevie Wonderful and Hunter Q Robinson were in the ring, and fucking Sully was like, "This is what the people want to see." Like, he said that. He said, "Oh, the people want to see Hunter Q Robinson and Stevie Wonderful." It's like, no, they don't.
I must have missed that as well as the people. I don't remember anybody going banana over making a Hunter Q Robbins and Jay Sully reference.
Yeah, Sully tried to say that the people, like, they were in, like, Wonderful and Hunter Q were in there for like 5 seconds, and Sully was like, "This is what they want to see." Wonderful and Robbins. It's like, no.
No, I don't think so. I mean, wasn't? Yeah, no. I just think no.
For comedic factor, we actually spent a lot more time on this than I thought we were going to, which is good. I'm not saying that's bad, but I didn't have a lot of notes on this other than it was just a clusterfuck, really.
And it went way too long.
Yeah, you're right, because at this point, now that you mention it, when it came on, I thought that it was almost kind of like an infomercial for the next show kind of thing. So I'm not joking. I kind of got up and I walked into the kitchen, and did one or two things and came back, and I was like, "Oh, this is like an angle, but
an actual match." Yeah,
I didn't see it, and then at that, if I didn't give a fuck when I first saw Sully or whatever on there, then I wasn't giving a fuck then. So I don't know. You're right. Whatever. You tell me how it was.
It was terrible, and Sal won with his pizza splash.
Yes, a big pizza splash. So now we come to our main event, the match that they have been hyping since we started watching this show.
The Texas Chain Match Massacre match of matches.
Yes.
Hey, can I show you, before we start going to this, I want to see if I can show you my notes for this, right? What's the last thing you see on there? Oh.
Something about
the last thing I wrote. You can actually edit this off the show, because this is just what I want to say was the last thing I wrote was Joey Styles, because of him doing the commentary. But after that was Eddie Gilbert versus Terry Funk, right?
Yep.
I got no notes. I was showing you a blank piece of paper. That's what I was showing you. I wanted you to see Joey Styles, because that's when I was excited to see Joey Styles. Mm-hmm. But the rest of it was Eddie Gilbert versus Terry Funk. Blank piece of paper. What am I going to say?
Right. I don't have a lot of. I mean, I guess I don't have a lot of notes either, because I was just watching it. I wasn't thinking to write. I mean, I wrote a couple of things down about the finish, about the end of it.
Agreed.
I got some notes.
Do share.
Oh, I will. Todd Gordon was on commentary. I think Todd Gordon shouldn't have been on commentary. They should have. I've said it this a couple times. They should have just left Joey out there. There's a spot in the match where Funk is whipping Gilbert with the chain, and Sully, honest to God, and this is like the first time that I was like, oh man, Sully's actually a wrestling fan. He does a David Crockett impersonation. Like Funk, Funk is whipping him with the chain, and Sully's like, whip him like a dog. He really does it. He goes, whip him like a dog. I'm like, yeah, Sully knows.
Well, I'm not sure that's enough. It might need more to change me on that one.
And I just thought it was kind of silly that he did a,
I just thought it was great because one thing that I've discovered watching the shows the last couple of weeks was Eddie was actually feeling out the Philadelphia crowd. And if you watch some of the finishes that Eddie would do, they would be hokey Memphis finishes.
Mm-hmm.
Like ridiculous ones. The referee's back is turned and Eddie has the gimmick, or some that kind of crap where it was kind of hokey. So you see that stuff happening, but he was kind of like feeling the audience out, and you hear him go, if they didn't like it or whatever. But yeah, this was another one of Eddie's. This is a Memphis finish, and I'm sure Terry kind of realized, like, hey, we're in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We have to give him something a little more different, a little more than just some stupid, you fucked me finish.
Yeah.
And then during the match, they're both getting struck by the chain, and Todd Gordon goes, fans at home, I don't know if you've ever been struck by a chain before, but I have, and it really hurts. It's like, have you ever been struck by a chain, Todd Gordon?
He was struck by a chain by Eddie Gilbert when Eddie Gilbert killed his puppy or whatever the hell was going on.
Oh, yeah, probably.
There's probably a YouTube video of Todd and some chain story that we don't know about.
And then John Finnegan is like the toughest goddamn referee in the world, because he takes the chain to the back of the head. Like, he takes the chain to the head, but the motherfucker does not go down. Like, it's supposed to be a bump with the chain, but he's just like, fuck it. I'm going to stagger around and keep watching everything that's going on. He sees everything that's going on. And then both the other referees are coming out, and they're just like, oh, yeah, this one's
concussed.
This one's concussed, so we're going to bring out Kevin Christian, and we're going to bring out the other one. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, I am not trying to laugh at this injury. But yeah, you're right. The dude got in there with a big logging chain.
Like, it looks like he stubbed his toe at like 2:00 in the morning. He's just like, fuck. But he sees everything that's going on.
Yeah,
I can't continue, guys. Fuck.
Like, I mean, kudos to Finnegan and Molyneux, because they were all we had. They were all.
I'm not knocking them as people or performers or anything, but
in this
fucking
match,
ref got bumped and he didn't even go down at all. No. He was just like, God damn. Like,
he didn't even sell it.
He was just like, well, that just happened. Like, shit,
Fuck.
like you look at Gilbert's like, dick. Like, what'd you do that for? And then bring out the other ref, and they're like, oh, we got to take him out. It's like, he's not even fucking down.
There's the controversy. Finnegan's getting taken out. He's like, I'm fine.
They're like, no, you're not.
Get the fuck out of here. Kevin Christian's doing shit.
It's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Yeah, and he's like, no, it's bring out your dead.
I'm only
Apparently, he was the black.
95%
Apparently, fucking Finnegan was Black Patriot #2.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, them guys, Finnegan and fucking Jim Molyneux, dude. Like, because they were all we had until Sabu showed up with fucking Pee Wee. So they had to go out there and take. Some of them bumps weren't even planned because we knew we didn't have other refs to take the spot. So if they got bumped, sometimes it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, Finnegan.
But yeah, that's funny, dude. He got hit in the head with a big ass chain. He's like, what the fuck?
The fuck? And they were like, go sit down for a little bit.
No, I'm fine.
It's ECW.
But that was my take on this match. You guys,
So here in comes the fuck finish at the end here for Terry with, as we know, Kevin Christian, Freddie Gilbert doing the screw job finish on Terry Funk in this match. Anything else? The match was good. You're right about the ludicrousness at the end, Aaron, but the match overall, watching Terry Funk work with Eddie Gilbert, good stuff.
Oh no, the match was great, and they both bled buckets, and it was a good match. But
Eddie did wonders, like to sell this as a cassette. Because watch when he first got color, like he went to the side of the ring, he got color, and then Terry brought him back around to the forefront of the ring where the hard camera was. And that's when the color was coming down. Mm-hmm. And you could see Gilbert's head.
Yeah.
With the color. That was him selling the show. Like,
Absolutely.
When they advertised the videotape. Look at this shit. You know what I mean? This dude, and don't worry about the referee, he's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about the referee.
Yeah. Look at Eddie Gilbert. But that was him selling that shit. Like that stuff doesn't just happen. You know what I'm saying? It just don't happen. And Gilbert's going to take a lot of shit coming up right in the next couple of weeks. He's going to end up taking a lot of shit, and I don't even have an opinion where he even belongs because I wasn't there until right the day of after.
Mm-hmm. The show itself, like I said, this match was good. The show itself, I actually liked this show. Like,
I did too.
The only thing that I would say, the only things that I would say that I generally disliked or made me cringe were like we talked about, Sandman and Hot Body was bad, and
not Hot Body.
No,
Sandman and Rebel. I'm sorry.
Come on. Get your bad matches right.
Sandman and Rebel was bad, and the 6-man was bad. Other than that, decent show. Even Snuka was fine, I mean. Well,
I look at it this way. I mean, Aaron, I'm waiting to hear your opinion after. I'm going to say it real quick, but I think that after we've watched, I don't know, X amount of weeks, 9, 10 weeks of this nonsense, we've seen the crowd grow exponentially. And you look at this actually looks like a show that it created a buzz on the underground, and people came out to support. And I think this is what ECW, it ends up being. But you can see it right now, and if you can't, then you ain't fucking watching what I'm watching.
Right.
Yeah, I like. On a star rating, and you guys are probably going to shit on me for this, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought the goddamn show was entertaining. Like, I don't hate the Rebel Sandman match as much as you guys did, and the 6-man match was ridiculous, but it was ridiculous fun. You know what I mean? This is silly enough to be fun. And I've been watching, and like I told you guys, like this was like the Cabrini WrestleMania 5. like I've been watching, I've been invested in these guys for 8 or 9 weeks, so this is their big blow off, and I enjoyed it. And I thought this was a good show.
So did I. I mean, I thought it was a totally fine show. I loved the look, and I don't know what Paul was thinking when he saw it, but I can see what I think Paul saw in this. You know, the whole entire layout. I could see it, and I was like, "God damn, that looks great, man."
And the only thing, and it wouldn't even be anybody's fault, would have been that. And I understand the budget constraints that they would have had on this show. It would have been better if they would have been able to, like during the chain match, be able to have like two or three cameras. I understand it's a budget constraint thing. It would have been cooler to be able to get a close up on like Eddie bleeding or Terry bleeding or even Winter's bleeding or whatever. That's not their
Larry Winter's bleed.
Yeah. If they would have had a camera, you probably would have saw it. But as a show, I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, I agree.
I wasn't upset after I didn't look at myself and go, I wasted an hour and a half of my life.
Right.
I still wasted an hour and a half of my life, and I was there at the fucking show. So now you guys are really killing me. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was like it's everything that I wanted / expected an independent show to be. You know, if I'm a regular size Mark, I get to see Jimmy Snuka. I get to see some jabroni guys bleed. I'm getting there. I'm getting ready to see like jabroni guys bleed that I don't even know. Half naked broads. Dick Murdoch. Sal Bolo. I can. That to me is like whatever the price was is worth my money.
Right.
And like I said, I was already there.
Overall, I think I agree. Aaron, actually, you said that, but I agree. I give it 3 out of 5. It's especially considering what we've watched so far. You see a stark improvement starting to happen, and things starting to come together, like Chad keeps saying. You see these seeds getting planted and things. You can see things. They see things are in motion and things are moving and shaking, and it's fun to watch. So for next week's show, let me run down the preview on the WWE Network. We'll be watching the show from June 22nd, 93, so airing just a few days after this one did. Violence erupts when Hunter Q. Robbins III leads the Suicide Blondes into main event action against Sal Balomo and the Super Destroyers. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet, buddy. Tommy Cairo takes Road Warrior Hawk's place in challenging Don Morocco for the ECW
Championship. Did they advertise that?
Yeah, all this and much more next week as we continue. Any parting words, gentlemen, before we sign off for the evening?
Wait a minute, I never got to plug my stuff.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, let him plug his shit. Oh, you're too busy shamelessly putting your tail between your legs, conceding to some other fucking flailed podcast, which claimed to be in 2300. Come on. No, I got stuff to promote, pal. Can I do it?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me do it then.
Shut my
intro.
God damn it. And Chad, would you like to plug anything as we sign off this week?
Oh, yes, I would. It's the holiday season, guys. Just check out Chad's Video Vault on Facebook. Go to my group. I'll add you. It's an exclusive group. But in December, I'm doing a 10 for 10 DVDs for $10. It includes shipping, by the way. You pick the DVDs you want. And I'm also doing that's pretty much about it. And you can follow me on Twitter as Chad Hoover Demira or Chad Austin Demira, and also on the show, guys. Go ahead, go about your business.
You're the man, Chad. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us this week. We will see you next week as we continue trudging through the history of ECW. Have a great week, everybody.